Okay, can y'all see the recording?
Yeah, it's on.
Okay, perfect. I'm going to pause it until we're ready to start, and then,
Cool.
yeah.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Good.
Hi, Mrs. Collins. I'm Amy Gulick. I'm the third-year veterinary student who's been looking after Bojangles. How are you doing today?
Well, I'm hoping to get some good news from you.
Yes, that's why we're here, is to talk about the referral hospital that does the kidney transplants. So unfortunately, I have bad news to share. I'm really sorry to say this. Because of Bojangles' rapid weight loss and because of his age, the referral hospital doesn't consider him to be a candidate for surgery, and they're unwilling to perform the surgery on him. And I'm so sorry to have to share this news with you.
Hard because I put a lot of hope in the fact that I thought that Bojangles might be able to have some extra time with me. It's really disheartening because I feel like that he started to get sick at the same time my husband got sick, and that as a pet owner, I feel that I've let him down because I was so overwhelmed with my husband's illness and then his final death that I really couldn't keep up with Bojangles' sickness. So this is really, it's really pretty guilt giving to me, and also just a kind of another painful moment because he's really been my rock. I mean, he comes in every night when I go to bed, and he knows how lonely it is for me, and he just lays beside me. So I need your help.
Mrs. Collins, I can't imagine what you must have been through, and I'm so sorry to hear your story. And I myself have been through a situation of great hardship, and my pets were my rock during that. So I really can imagine how you feel about Bojangles. And I want to tell you that you are one of the few pet owners, pet moms that I know that would go to the ends of the earth for their pet. And I admire that so much. And I want you to know that I recognize that. And I want to take away any guilty feelings you may have about Bojangles, because the kidney disease that he has is nothing that you caused. He's what we call a super senior cat. He's getting on in years, and this kind of disease is degenerative, meaning that once it starts to go downhill, you can try and give them medicine, you can try and provide as much support as you can, but regardless of that support, the kidneys are still going to decline. So I want to ease your mind in the sense that you did absolutely nothing to cause this. This is just, his kidneys are old, and they're at the end of their life.
Well, thank you, Amy. That I must tell you that is a comfort, because you do feel like you're responsible for them.
Right, and I just, you could spend 5 seconds with you, Mrs. Collins and Bojangles, and see the love that you two have for each other. And he is the dearest, sweetest little guy. So what I want to discuss today is some next steps that we can think about for him.
Okay.
So we've been giving him fluids, as you know, underneath his skin, and just trying to support those kidneys as much as we can during this time. And we can continue to do that. And we can give him some pain medication to help ease some of the pain that this is causing. I do have some concerns about that path, because he stopped eating, and I feel that his weight loss is so severe now. Last year he weighed 12 pounds and he now weighs 5. So he weighs less than half of what he weighed before, and he's lost muscle and he's lost all of his fat. And my concern is that that supportive care wouldn't be able to provide him with enough comfort. So this is really hard to say, but one other option is providing him with a humane death.
Okay.
And I want to answer any questions you might have before I move forward and explore those options a little more.
Probably right now, the hardest part for me is understanding timing of when I should do this.
Right.
I know that today is not a day that I feel like I can emotionally let go of him. I I feel like I need to still have a little bit more time to tell him goodbye. Um, so probably what I want from you is to know a little bit about how it's done and also to give me some warning signs that I might need to look for to kind of spur me on to do it as safely and with as less suffering as possible.
Right, right, absolutely. I will absolutely go through those things. So let's first address the timing. I absolutely do not want to push you into anything. I don't necessarily want to rush into this or go into this today. I want to give you as much time as you need to feel confident and comfortable with your decision. Can you hear me?
Okay, good, good.
Okay, sorry, my computer froze. I want to make sure. And I know this is
No,
such
yeah,
a, oh,
great.
sorry. This is such a hard time with all the coronavirus and everything that's going on. And I want to give you the time you need in this trying time to feel confident with your decision. And now I'd like to talk a little bit about the process itself. So what we would do, you can be with him, or we can, if you feel uncomfortable being in the room, that's okay too. It's a total personal preference. Um, so what we do is first we give him something to make him sleepy. And that just puts him into a nice, light, gentle sleep. He feels no pain and he's not aware of his surroundings. It's like he's taking one of his little Bojangles naps.
Good, good.
And next, what we would do is we would give him an anesthetic. And this is the same anesthetic that we would use to put him under for any kind of procedure. And what we would do, and so it's going to put him into a deeper sleep. And then we're going to overdose him on an anesthetic. And then that's going to put him into a deep enough sleep that his heart stops.
Okay.
So
And there's no pain.
there's absolutely no pain. It's a very peaceful process. Sometimes they do have some strange breathing that occurs, and it looks like they're gasping for breath, but that's just a reaction in their diaphragm. They don't feel anything, and they're not aware of that. That's just the muscles in their diaphragm are kicking off, and it's making them breathe like that. But they absolutely feel no pain, and it's the most peaceful death you could ask for.
Okay. Well, I will tell you, this is a hard decision to decide when I need to let go and when he needs to be I need to let him go because he's in pain and
Right.
suffering.
Absolutely. You and I both loved Bojangles, and I think we're on the same team here in that we want what's best for him. We don't want him to suffer 1 minute longer than he has to. And so some things that you might look for, the first thing would be stopping to eat, which he has not been on his food lately, so that might be something to consider. Another thing that I ask clients to do to know when it's time, and this has been proven to be very helpful, is to write a list of 5 to 10 things that Bojangles love to do. And okay, thank you.
Hey, listen, Amy, you really have a very good voice. It's authoritative, but also still comforting. So good job. Good job. Have a great one, guys.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Right. I actually have some difficult news to share with you about Mabel. Do you have a minute to talk?
Yes, I have just a few minutes. I have court to go to in just a few minutes. So.
Okay. I'm very sorry to have to tell you that Mabel passed away. Mabel passed away.
Mabel was fine. All she needed was a shot. What do you mean she passed away?
Mabel, she passed away. And would it help if I explained to you what we believe happened?
What you believed happened, you don't know what happened? And she's dead?
What happened? Would it help if we explained to you what happened?
Yes. I mean, I don't understand. It wasn't like she had open heart surgery. All she needed was an insulin shot. So I guess I'm totally confused on why would she be dead? I don't understand.
Yes, ma'am. I can't imagine what you're feeling, and I think I'm going to explain to you what happened, and hopefully that will bring just a little bit more understanding to you. So Mabel came in to get a glucose curve. And whenever I was writing down the units of insulin, there was a miswrite instead of writing units, milliliters was written. And so Mabel was administered the wrong dosage of insulin. And then we put her in a kennel. And when we came back to observe her again, she had passed away.
I guess I don't understand. That's such incompetence that, so basically you overdosed my dog.
The wrong amount of insulin was written down. And so she was given too much insulin. And that was an error on my part. I wrote down milliliters instead of units, and that's what was administered to Mabel, and that was too much insulin. I imagine you have a number of questions, and I just went through a lot of information. What questions do you have?
I have no idea. I'm still trying to grasp the fact that I can't bring Mabel home today.
Yes, ma'am. It's completely understandable to be shocked and upset and angry. And I imagine that you're feeling a ton of different emotions right now, as is all of our team on our part too. Not to the extent of you, of course, Mabel was your baby. But we have stepped back and thought about the process, and we apologize. We're very sorry for this error.
But an error that caused my dog to die. I mean, that's just inexcusable.
Yes, ma'am. I understand that it's very upsetting, and it's unimaginable, and I can't imagine what you're feeling right now.
I deal with negligent cases and malpractice all the time, and my lawyer is a lawyer, and I just don't understand like how I'm in the middle of one now, because this to me sounds like negligence.
I can understand that you're angry, and I completely see where you're coming from. And it's a terrible situation. And we apologize so much. And I just, we already have, I know this will not make Mabel back, not bring Mabel back, but we are, as a team, have already started making steps in order to prevent this from happening again.
But you're one of the best vet hospitals in the country, and I don't understand how this could have happened even at your place. That's why we bring Mabel to you, is because you're one of the best, and we rely and trust you on your judgments, and this is just totally unacceptable.
I completely understand. Would it help at all if you heard some of the steps we are taking to prevent this from happening again, or what other questions do you have? What at this point right now would help you the most in this discussion?
Oh, I'm going to have to somehow break the news. My husband's on the city council, and he
Yes.
recommends your vet school and hospital all the time. And I don't see how he's going to handle this at all.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
I will probably have to have him call you so that you can try to explain to him how in the world you lost our dog
Yes,
for
ma'am.
an insulin shot.
I completely understand. Well, in the future, what we're going to do to prevent this from happening, just so you have peace of mind of how we're moving, how we're going to take Mabel's memory and use her and go as a step forward. We're going to make sure that we have 2 people check whenever a dosage is written down to make sure the units are correct. And then for our glucose
But
curve,
my dog was the guinea pig, it sounds like, and that's just
no, ma'am, she wasn't. It was just a terrible, unfortunate error, and there's no way to bring Mabel back. But we're more than willing to. We're going to cover all of her medical costs and any steps moving forward. So we have options at the hospital to where you can come and get her to have her buried at your house, or we have a good cremation service, and we're going to cover those costs for you as well, so that you can honor Mabel in the best way possible.
Like I said, I was trying to come and pick her up. I just don't understand how we got from picking her up to being dead. That just.
Yes, ma'am. I understand. It's very shocking and unimaginable. And again, I can't apologize enough from our hospital to your family.
Well, I just am almost dumbfounded, and that doesn't happen to a lawyer very often. I'm going to have my husband call you, and I will be having to investigate this further to see what in the world is going on at your vet school and your vet hospital, because this is right up the negligence and malpractice area that I usually work in.
Okay. I understand that you feel that way, and I want you to take any steps necessary that you feel are necessary. But regarding Mabel, I do want you to understand that we're very sorry for what happened, and we are willing to do whatever is necessary to make y'all feel at peace with the situation.
Well, I'm not sure if that's going to be possible, and we will be in contact.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Hi, I'm here to pick up Jewel.
Hi, Miss Sharf. It's Hannah Wilson, the third-year vet student that's been working with Jewel.
Right.
Okay. I'm sorry, but I have some difficult news that I have to tell you about Jewel. So I know that you brought Jewel in for a dental procedure,
Yeah.
but about 5 minutes after she was anesthetized, which means that she was, sedated and intubated and everything. About 5 minutes after she was put on the table, she went into cardiac arrest. And after a couple bouts of us trying to resuscitate her, we were unable to bring her back. And I understand this is such shocking and unimaginable news, and we all love Jewel, no one more than you. And
Wait, so you're saying Jewel's dead?
yes, ma'am.
I don't understand. I don't understand.
Would it help if I explained a little bit about, behind the situation? Okay. Well, any form of anesthesia carries a certain risk, and what we did with Jewel before was we ran blood work, and all of her blood work came back great. Even for healthy animals, anesthesia can pose a risk. And the anesthesia was necessary for her dental procedure. And during the anesthetic procedure and before the dental procedure started, she went into cardiac arrest, which means her heart just kind of short-circuited in a way. It wouldn't function properly. And so we have 2 veterinary nurses that are with the patients at all times. And so one started CPR to attempt to resuscitate her. And then one came and got me. And we went in and did another round of CPR, but we were unable to bring Jewel back. Now, I know I just went through a ton of information, and it's very hard information to hear. What questions do you have, or is there any?
I know you just said a lot of stuff to me, but I still, she was fine when I brought her in this morning. And are you sure you have the right dog?
Yes, ma'am. I'm very sorry, and I imagine you're feeling so many things right now. Jewel was such a great dog, and this is unexpected and unimaginable.
I have to tell my family that Jewel's dead?
Yes, ma'am. We have some, if you need some resources to help break the news with your family, we have those available at the clinic that I'd be more than willing to help you work through, because I know this is such shocking and horrible news, and I'm very sorry. Jewel was an amazing, beautiful dog.
My granddaughter is going to be devastated. I don't know how I'm going to tell her that Jewel's dead. I just don't understand. I don't understand.
I'm so sorry.
What do I do now? What do I do now?
Well, moving forward, if you'd like to come see Jewel, you can come see her and say your goodbyes to her. Our clinic also has quite a few options. If you'd like to take Jewel back to your house and have like a service and bury her, you're more than welcome to do that. If not, we offer to do a little service here, and we have little plots for animals here. If not, we have another service that does a pet cemetery kind of thing, and I'm more than willing to go through those resources with you, and all of those things.
Well, I just, I can't make any decisions without talking to my family first.
I completely
And was she in, did I ask if she was in pain? Was she in pain or scared?
No, ma'am. She was not scared, and she was not in pain. She felt no pain at all. No pain through any of it. Because she was anesthetized, sedated. She didn't feel any pain.
I just can't believe it.
I'm so sorry that this happened, and I really wish things would not have turned out this way. Jewel was a great dog, and she was amazing and beautiful, and I'm sure y'all have tons of great memories.
Well, I need to go talk to my family.
Yes, ma'am.
I
Do you have
need to
any
talk.
questions? Do you have any
No, I don't even know what to ask. I don't even know what to ask. And I guess I don't know. I guess I will have to talk to my family and make a decision with them about what to do.
Okay.
And I'll just have to call you back because
Yes, ma'am.
I can't even understand that this has happened.
I completely.
So I'm gonna go talk to my family.
Okay, y'all take your time and go through whatever you need to go through to make the decision. And if you want to come and see Jewel and say your goodbyes and everything, then just let us know. And all right.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Again, we're very sorry that this happened, and
Okay, I'm gonna go
we're here
talk
for
to my
whatever y'all
family.
need.
I'm
Okay.
gonna go, and I'll call you when we've decided something.
Okay.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Mrs. Wagner, this is Brittany. I'm the veterinary student in charge of you and Trixie today.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. So I just got back the blood work and the x-rays, and we did our physical exam with Trixie. And I kind of want to go through some of that stuff with you because it's changed since your appointment with your last vet. So looking at the blood work and the x-rays, I know that you've been giving the Lasix for her heart murmur and her heart condition. It looks like that.
I suspect that because she's not getting around or anything, and she's coughing a lot more.
And so basically there's more fluid in her chest and her heart murmur has gotten louder. With that, there's some medications that we could add. A little bit more difficult blood work change that I want to talk to you about. So there's evidence on her, you know how we run the CBC and the chemistry panel to look at her cells, and then the other organs have, they're the bloodstream. Her kidney values are very, very high. And what that means is it's suggestive that she's developing kidney disease. I know, and that's not probably a very good thing to hear. I know that's not easy. What do you know about kidney disease?
Well, much about it at all.
Yeah. Well, what I'll tell you is that typically, so the kidneys are basically full of tiny little filters, and those filters don't work properly. Waste products can't be, removed from the body, and her hydration status can't be managed correctly. And so the problem with having kidney disease and heart disease is that the fluid is a lot harder to manage. Does that make sense?
I guess.
So essentially, yeah, I know it's a little bit confusing of a concept, but basically what happens is if we were to target treating her kidneys, we would really focus on that, but the medications we would have to give would actually cause her heart to beat worse and more fluid to go into her lungs.
Oh.
And then vice versa. If we're to treat her heart, we would actually, if we're to treat her heart aggressively, it makes her kidney disease harder because it's more strain on all those tiny filters. And so it promotes them dying off at a faster rate. I know that sounds really scary.
Doesn't sound good at all.
Yeah, it sounds really scary, and it is pretty serious. What I'll tell you is we have a couple options with what we can do. But what I want to tell you, since this is our first meeting, the most important thing with what we do going forward is that we're going to talk about how we can promote the quality of her life versus the quantity of her life. And I know that's a hard thing to talk about, but it's an important thing for where she's at. She's 14 and she's got a couple really, really hard problems.
Well, I knew that we would be facing this, but I just didn't think it was here now.
Yeah, and I'm so sorry that this has to be on our first meeting, but we really do want to do the best thing for her, and we don't want her to be.
I don't want her to suffer, no.
Absolutely. Well, I'll talk to you. We kind of have two different routes that we can take.
Okay.
If you're okay with that. So the first one is we can start with trying some aggressive medical treatment. So we can try to treat both the heart and the kidneys. What I'll tell you is it's a balancing act. So one will probably get worse before the other, and it's very temporary, the medical treatment. With that, I know it's our first time. I want to be very respectful of your budget. With everything we've done today, it's about $350. And starting her on all the medications she would need, just starting her is about $800. And these treatments will be lifelong. So it's not something that I can guarantee will make her feel better or, treat her problems really efficiently. And it's very expensive. I want to know kind of what are your thoughts on that?
I don't really think I can afford that kind of expense continually.
Yeah.
Especially in light of the fact that it's not going to improve her very much.
And I think I think that that's a very reasonable thing. I don't think that you need to feel pressured into doing that, because at this point, trying it may not make her better, and it may actually make her feel worse taking all of those medications, because every medication has side effects. The other option, and I'm really sorry that I have to bring this up, but it will be thinking about putting Trixie to sleep. And I'm not sure if that's something that you've thought about yet or prepared yourself for.
Sure, we've thought about it.
Mm-hmm. Well, it doesn't have to be today. That's what I want to start with, is what we need to do is, or what I want you to do is go home today and spend time with Trixie, and I want you to come up with a list of 5 to 10 things that make Trixie Trixie. So, for example, my dog loves to chase squirrels and bark at squirrels and, run after squirrels and obsess over squirrels. And the day and the second that he doesn't want to do that anymore, that's going to be an indication for me. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I think that will help. It's something that I learned a while ago, and I think it really helps to put into perspective what Trixie is going through and what she's feeling. How are you doing with all this? I know that this is a really heavy first conversation.
Well, what you said really struck a bone with me, because, you know, that's something she's always got excited about, was when there was a squirrel in the yard. And she also normally would always run to the door and greet us, and she's not doing that anymore.
Absolutely.
Get real excited about getting a treat after she come in from doing her business outside, and she's not waiting for that. She just goes back to her bed. So, yeah, she's just not Trixie anymore.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and it's one of those that the fact that you can recognize that, though, is very, Trixie will thank you for that, you know?
Well, I don't want her to suffer, so.
Absolutely.
I don't, I've never euthanized an animal before, so I don't really know how the procedure works.
Of course.
And I'm just concerned do they feel any pain?
No. So let me walk you through kind of how we can do this. So you two go home today, feed her her favorite things in the whole world, do whatever it is she wants to do. I'm going to call you tomorrow and we'll schedule an appointment for the end of the day.
Okay.
And that way you guys have all day together, and when you come in, it'll be quiet and, you know, you can have all the time you need.
Okay.
You're going to bring her in, and we're going to take her and we're going to give her a little bit of sedation, just kind of to take the edge off and relax her. We're going to put an IV in her leg about right here. And then I'm going to bring her back in the room with you, and you'll have as much time to spend with her as you want, to say goodbyes and give her hugs and whatever you want.
Okay.
And then I'm going to come in, and basically what I'll be doing is I'm going to give her an injection of an anesthetic, but I'm going to give it at an overdose. And so what will happen is that basically she'll fall asleep.
Okay,
And
our
then,
session has ended.
oh no, I was
You did a great job, though.
Thank you.
Thank you.